Won. Well, the Packers are somehow won. They somehow won. And Jordan Love is our special guest, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Love has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. We got Jordan Love in the stands tonight.
Hey.
This is Tom Grossi, and you're watching the PackReacts podcast.
Let's go.
Well, that was fun of having both interests on YouTube and Twitter. So that was fun.
No one knows about that. They only heard one, hopefully. We got to make sure that's not doubling up like it is in our headsets.
Exactly. Well, folks, hello. I'm your co-host, Jeremy Howler, along with our other co-host, Jordan Love, here tonight, folks. We got Jordan Love. Woo!
How's it going, Jeremy?
Doing good, Jordan. How we doing?
Yeah, if your podcast is as good as my quarterback play this weekend, you're doing something good. So great job on the podcast, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Got to break this guy out. Got to break this guy out.
Oh, Mike's here. We want Jordan Love.
It's from unfortunately, you can keep waiting for that. We have Wes Hodkiewicz, Matt Ramage, but we don't yet have the starting quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Sorry, guys. I know we've got some new followers on our Twitter platform. We appreciate that. If anybody's watching, please feel free to hit us up in the comments. We love to get people's insights, and also if you'd ever like to come on the show, please reach out. But yeah, no Jordan Love yet. We're still not there yet. We're not at the levels of Pack a Day, Cheesehead TV, some of these other bigger players, but they haven't had Jordan Love either. So no one has. I don't think he's been on a podcast, Packers fan podcast.
No, he hasn't. He has not been on a Packers fan podcast.
So maybe it's an opportunity there, Jeremy.
Maybe it is. Well, folks. Well, yeah, I thought it too. Well, folks, tonight we'll be talking about the Packers beating the Los Angeles Rams from this past week, going over the recap there. Finally end the 4-game losing streak. And then we'll be talking, heading into the night with the Super Bowl 45 rematch. We'll be talking a bit of that. And then we'll be talking about the Green Bay Packers hosting the 2025 NFL Draft. And if we have time, we'll be talking about one of our fan favorites of Packer Nation. We'll be talking about that. All right.
Black and yellow versus green and yellow.
Exactly. It's the Lil Wayne songs out here, kids. Lil Wayne songs. Find it.
What is it? Lil Wayne versus Wiz Khalifa? Is that correct?
No, I think it's Lil Wayne versus Lil Wayne.
No. Black and yellow is not Lil Wayne.
I think it is.
No.
I've heard it. I
Wiz Khalifa.
Oh, okay then.
That's right, kids. I know my pop culture.
All right, I'll give you that one. All right. Well, anyway, it's green, yellow versus black and yellow this week, folks. We got that happening. And now let's recap here from this past Sunday. Mike, what did you see from this game?
What did I see? Look, I wasn't too impressed. We got the win, but against Brett Ripien, who I don't even think is on an NFL team right now.
I don't think he is.
Obviously, they had Aaron Donald still, but Aaron Donald doesn't seem like he was the Aaron Donald of old. He seemed a little bit slower.
Yeah.
They didn't have Matt Stafford, obviously, like I said. Cooper Kupp was kept in check. The defense overall played well. I mean, I was impressed by the defense, only putting up 3 points against NFL offense. I was happy. And that's what I've got to say. Like, look, we're giving Joe Barry a hard time, and I definitely don't think you bring Joe Barry back after this year. I don't think he's shown enough to bring him back. But the defense, to their defense, has been a top 10 defense this year in a lot of, I think, DVOA. They're a top 10 defense. And last week, they played well, especially with some of the young guys. Carrington Valentine stepped up. Kobe Wooden stepped up. Carl Brooks. And, Kenny Clark went out early. I don't think Quay Walker played, right? He was hurt, if I remember correctly.
Isaiah McDuffie.
Yep. Jonathan Ford had a big fumble recovery. So a lot a lot of good performances by the young players to show, maybe there is something here long term. If we can, get some consistency on offense.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see enough from the offense this week. I didn't. From the other team putting up 3 points to the offense that basically was non-existent the first half, and then I think almost didn't put up any points the first half. I could be wrong about that, but then obviously they got a few touchdowns in the second half, looked decently better, but at home against an opponent that's not that great, I still am not sold on this offense. And unfortunately, that's Matt LaFleur's bread and butter, his offense. And I
Mm-hmm.
still have the same questions I had last week. If I think the Packers played any other team, they lose that game. So I'm not getting overly excited. Obviously, it's a win. They're 3-5 right now. You
Yep.
know, the Vikings are 5-4. They got the win. Josh Dobbs brought them forward. So now you got two teams that are significantly higher than the Packers in the division. The Bears are at 2-7, so they're not much worse than us. They're playing right now. I think Jeremy and I were just talking before we went live. They're losing, but honestly,
Yep.
the Bears they don't win or don't lose this game no matter what, because I don't think they're making the playoffs at this point. And the Panthers, they own their first round draft pick. So if the Bears win, they hurt their first round draft pick through the Panthers. And if they lose, then they hurt their own first round draft pick and then help the Panthers. So either way, it's kind of the same. So look, this Packers team, I don't even see them backing into the playoffs at this point. So honestly, that win probably could have had some side effects long term in terms of draft position. But obviously, look, we're here to win the game. You can't tank in the NFL. That's just not the way this works. So happy
Mm-hmm.
to win 1-0 this week. Got to go to Pittsburgh and get the win there. Because look, this team could go on a run. Why couldn't they? It's an NFL team. We've played 8 games. There's 9 games ahead of us, right? 17-game season. So 9 games ahead of us. You go 9-0. You're 12-5. Is that going to happen? No shot. But let's say you go 6-3. You're 9-8. Is that enough? Probably not.
No.
So you really need to win 7 out of those 9 games to go 10 and what do you call it? 10-7.
7. Yep.
And maybe, maybe, but it's hard to see them winning 7 out of 9. So, like, honestly, the loss, the win probably hurt us in the long term. But look, you gotta be positive. You gotta root for the Packers to win, and yeah, we got the win.
Yep. For me, I didn't get to watch pretty much it at all because I was at the Cowboys Eagles game the entire time, so I didn't get to watch it that
What
much.
is this?
Yeah, I had to go for a networking event. A networking
Was it
event.
free at least?
It was free.
Okay. I can't argue with free, Jeremy. I cannot argue with free. If you paid money to go there, it's a different story. I'd question your decision. But free is okay.
Which I'll tell you, this is a sneak peek for my video, which I'll be doing what's it like working game day with the Eagles. I got to see Dan Quinn right next to me. He was running up the stairwells, and I was sitting in a chair, like in the seats. He's running up and forth. I'm like, that's Dan Quinn, the Cowboys defensive coordinator, the guy who choked the Super Bowl against the Falcons. That was awesome to see that. That was pretty awesome. But heading back to the Packers real quick. Packers defense. It was good. It was good for only giving up 3 points. Yes, it was against a trash team, but if you're giving up 3 points in this league, that's pretty good for a defense. Pretty good. Offensively, now there was some stuff I did like, but the offense has got to still get a lot better. You finally give Aaron Jones 20 touches. When the Packers give Aaron Jones 20 touches, they're 13-1. That's a huge significant difference right there, folks. The other thing was I got to see Luke Musgrave get some action, got his first touchdown. That was some nice stuff. Jordan Love played solid more in the second half, so that was pretty good to see there. Injury-wise, it just keeps hurting us back and forth once again. Back to the defense real quick. Really love Carl Brooks, Isaac McDuffie. He's a dog out there. Valentine. I got to give a credit to Valentine. Who knew he would step up and get the job done the week after they traded Rasul Douglas? he got the job done. He faced Pua Nakua and Cooper Kupp a bit there too. So I like to give him appreciation, and he's my MVP on that defense from last week. And let's not forget the defensive line; they also did a good job too, despite Kenny Clark going out too.
No, I totally agree. They stopped the run. Not that the Rams have a big run defense, but that defensive line definitely showed up. So definitely best performance of the defense all year. There's no doubt about that. Offense is still, like I said, stagnant. But like everyone likes to give Joe Barry a hard time, and I'm still not hearing much for Ab Cenovich. His offense isn't doing anything. It's not doing anything. It's stagnant. The receivers almost regressing. Let's look at Christian Watson. Made a great play on the sideline. Immediately gets hurt. Like I like Christian Watson a lot. Let me take that back. I actually love Christian Watson a lot. I saw the way he conducted himself in training camp, and I was really impressed. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on this year. He has no production whatsoever. And I don't think it's on Christian Watson. I think it's almost a differentiation in kind of Jordan Love's strengths and Christian Watson's strengths. Christian Watson's strengths are get open downfield, use his speed to get by people, right? Jordan Love does not seem to be a good long thrower of the football, Jeremy. He does not look to see like a good. I mean, let's look at the play where Christian Watson clearly had his man beat off the left sideline, right? And Jordan Love puts it up there. Watson has to work back in because the ball's clearly underthrown and basically get in the way of the defender just to make it not an interception, and it falls incomplete. Watson had the man beat. All Love had to do was put some more air off of the ball and hit Watson at the back of the end zone. He's wide open touchdown. And he completely 4 to 5 to 6 yards underthrew the ball. And, I think this is the trouble we're seeing is our best player on offense is probably Christian Watson, other than Aaron Jones, who had a good week this week. You see what happens to give Aaron Jones the ball. And look, maybe he wasn't healthy in the prior weeks, but then why is he on the field if he's not healthy? If he's on the field, he's active. I expect him to be, at full speed. But obviously, you saw Aaron Jones had a pretty good week this week. Although he coughed up the ball once, he made some mental errors, which really isn't like Aaron Jones. But yeah.
I mean, also, he helped out. He was being a leader out there after I forget who got the first fumble. He went right to him to console him a little bit to kind of cheer him up.
Dontavian Wicks.
Yes.
And look, Aaron Jones is the best veteran presence we have on this team. One of the only veteran presence on this team. Look at where's David Bakhtiari. Sorry, you just got me on a tangent here, Jeremy. If we have any new followers, I tend to go on tangents. David Bakhtiari, is he even on the sidelines? Maybe he is. Maybe I'm completely wrong. And not just showing on the broadcast because he's not Aaron Rodgers where everyone brings their attention to him. But is he on the sidelines? I would love to know that because look at Rodgers. Rodgers just tore his Achilles, and he's over there in the Jets throwing balls around there for his guys. He's not there during the week. But on game day, he's there. Is David Bakhtiari anywhere to be found? This team is a young team. They need veteran presence, and we don't have a lot of veteran presence. We got Jair, we got Kenny, we got Aaron Jones, we got Devondre Campbell. We had Rasul Douglas and traded him away. But the most senior person on this team right now is David Bakhtiari, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure David Bakhtiari is the most senior person on this team. And I don't see him. Maybe he's there. And I'd love if you're in the chat and you don't agree, let me know. But I don't see him. Do you see him, Jeremy? Have you heard anything from David Bakhtiari since he went on IR?
Nope, I have not heard anything.
But that's the thing is, even if he's not going to play, earn your salary by being there and being a vocal presence for these young guys that need veteran presence. Aaron Jones shows up whether he's hurt, not 100%, and he's there for his guys. Like you saw, he was there with Jordan Love over the summer for practicing. The only veteran there. You could see Aaron Jones is a good person. There's no doubt about that. Aaron Jones is a good person. Not only is he a great football player, but he's a great person. He cares about his guys. He cares about the fan base, and he cares about the team.
Yep.
Above himself, he took a pay cut to stay on this team.
He did.
Right? So Aaron Jones, while he hasn't been a huge performer this week, this season, right? Other than the game 1, right, against the Bears, which he had a great game, and then this game where he had a bounce back game, he's been pretty non-existent, whether he was hurt or playing and they didn't use him right. But where he adds value consistently is his presence. He's a veteran presence. He's a professional presence, and he brings up his guys, and he goes above and beyond. I do not see that from David. I don't, and I could be completely offline here. Maybe he's on the sidelines and he's doing it, but I just haven't seen it. So that's one thing I wanted to raise. I just brought that up because David Bakhtiari is one of the highest earners in his team, if not the highest.
Yep.
And Aaron Jones is up there, but you can see Aaron Jones, no matter what, is going to be out there. He truly enjoys being a member of the Green Bay Packers and helping the younger guys progress in their careers. And I just want to say thank you, Aaron Jones. I mean, we all really owe Aaron Jones and I was one of those guys last year who said maybe Aaron Jones, you should get rid of him just from cap purposes. But look, I think Aaron Jones brings another aspect to this team that not anybody else does, which is veteran leadership, veteran presence. And the team that is really missing that right now, Jeremy. I mean, we're a super young team, and there's just not a lot of places for guys to look to for guidance and for long-term advice.
Yeah.
Whether that be personally, in their own personal lives, monetarily, football-wise, how to conduct yourself as a man and as a football player. Aaron Jones is that guy. So thank you, Aaron Jones. That was my tangent. Sorry, it's really frustrating not to see Aaron Rodgers over there in New York, there for his guys all the time, going above and beyond to go out of his way while he's rehab to be there for his team. And David's doesn't seem to be doing the same over here.
Yeah, I totally agree there. But going back to Aaron Jones, he's just a leader and represents what a Packer player should be, honestly. Like, you talk about like the presence and being the leader, like helping guys out, like consoling them, be there. Like, as you mentioned, there's not that many leaders, like veteran leaders, on this team. And Aaron Jones has shown to be that. And he's just a fantastic player on and off the field. Definitely like a Walter Payton Man of the Year candidate. Just amazing leader to see from him.
Yeah. Look, when you're making a ton of money and you're not putting success out in the field, that's how you earn your money, is by being a veteran presence, being present. Aaron Rodgers is doing that in the Jets. Look how his presence kind of uplifts the team.
Mm-hmm.
There's some value there just to uplift the team that your key player, your key veteran cares. He's there. He goes on McAfee's show, right? I know he did that on the Packers, but like, you can see Rodgers truly cares about the game of football. And I think Bakhtiari truly cares too. I'm not trying to say that, but I think there's also a sense that I don't know if he truly cares about Green Bay anymore. I think he more cares about his own career and his friendship with Aaron Rodgers over the Packers. I don't know. Maybe just me. And I'd love to have a debate if anyone disagrees, but I don't know where he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know either, but it's just tough not seeing David Bakhtiari, and we don't know if he's going to come back next year. As we mentioned it with John when he was on here, we just don't know. It could be, and we have to still find out, wait and see, because it didn't last that long, and the injury, like ever since the 2020 season, it's never been the same since.
Honestly, if he's making this type of money and he can't be there for his team, and as long as he can walk, I mean, we also don't know what happened with his knee scope and the surgery he underwent. So, and I don't want to speak out of line, but if he's just kind of choosing not to be with the team, even if it's on like crutches or something, I don't know. I don't even know if I want him back on the team, but it's definitely not at the money he's going to command, or look to command.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's head into this upcoming week, and then we'll get into the draft later on. This week, the Green Bay Packers take on the Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl 45 rematch. Let's play the great clip of Super Bowl 45 that most Packer fans will remember this.
And off to Mendenhall. Clay Matthews triggered it loose. Matthews with the biggest play of the game today. Third turnover, Pittsburgh.
think that was a YouTube only, by the way. I didn't get that. Do you have any more videos?
No, I didn't get any more videos of
All right,
that.
that's all right. Sorry to the Twitter audience. Yeah, that was a YouTube only, YouTube exclusive.
My bad.
Yep, no worries.
Yeah, so this Packers take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is Super Bowl 45 rematch, ladies and gentlemen. Back in 2010, 2011 Super Bowl, Packers took on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Dallas, and the Packers ultimately won with Aaron Rodgers back in the day. And now we face a new era, which the last time these two teams faced each other, you had Ben Roethlisberger and Aaron Rodgers back just a couple years ago, and now that's switched. Now you got the new Kenny Pickett, who some people don't know if he's the guy for Pittsburgh, and you got the new era with Jordan Love. These two teams are very similar, very similar. They don't do well on the offensive side. They don't do well the first half. Second half is when they do better. Defensively, both sides are solid. The interesting thing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have been outgained in yards and somehow have a winning record. That's the interesting part about that. Very interesting part of that. It's going to be a tough stretch here. It's going to definitely be a tough stretch. And the Packers are looking to get their first win in Pittsburgh since 1970. Aaron Rodgers was not born. Brett Favre was a newborn. Bart Starr only had 2 championships during that time. So yeah, that's it's been a long time there. Mike, what are your thoughts on this game here?
My thoughts. All right, so it's gonna be a fun matchup. I mean, Pittsburgh's are always a fun spot. What time is the game? Is it a 1:00 game?
Yes, I believe it's a 1:00 game. Let me just double check real quick. I believe it is. Yes, 1:00 game.
Yeah, sorry. All right, so it's not gonna have like the prime time. I feel like last time I played in Pittsburgh was a primetime game. So, I think the Pittsburgh fans are a fun group.
Yep.
Got the terrible towels coming out. I like Pittsburgh. It's a cool city. My friend actually used to live there. If he still lived there, I probably would go out for this game. But no, he doesn't live there anymore. He lives in Seattle now, actually. Anyway, I think it's going to be a good game. It's a intra-league matchup. You don't play Pittsburgh all the time.
Nope.
They're very similar teams in terms of you have a young quarterback, a defense that is doing decent, and an offense that I don't believe is doing that well in Pittsburgh. But I would lie if I really am following the Steelers all that closely. So I do not think I can speak to exacts. But they are 5-3, second in the division. A very good division, probably one of the most consistent divisions in the NFL right now. The Ravens are on top with 7-2, and then the next 3 teams, Steelers, Browns, Bengals, are all 5-3.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say the Steelers are probably the worst team at division, but not by much because they all have the same record other than the Ravens. And there's no other division that's that close. So the AFC North is doing pretty good. Consistently across those 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the Steelers have a lot to play for. They're right in the midst of a playoff hunt. Packers don't have as much to play for, but it's still relatively early in the season, so it's a must-win for the Packers and a must-win for the Steelers. So it should be a good game. I'm excited to watch it, but I'm not going to get my hopes up, Jeremy.
I will get my hopes up a little bit, just a little bit, because at my school, I have to deal with Pittsburgh Steelers fans. So it'll be a fun time for that game. So if my team wins, then I get to have fun for like that one day to celebrate.
Yeah. Well, or you're really sad.
No, not really sad because I always want to see my team win. And because
I'm saying if we lose, you'd be really sad.
Oh yeah, if we lose, I'll be really sad
because
then
they'll rub it in your face. Either you rub it in their face or you rub. So I know that's a problem when your team plays your when you're not from that area and you play your local teams, is you have to deal with all the other people.
Yep,
I get you. It's the troubles and tribulations of being a Packer transplant.
Exactly. That's the exact point there. Let's give you guys the injury report real quick. On the Packers side, Jair Alexander has not practiced at all this week, dealing with a shoulder injury. Kenny Clark has been limited all week with a shoulder injury. Rudy Ford, calf injury, limited all week. Elton Jenkins, knee injury, limited all week. Aaron Jones, limited all week. Yosh Nijman, back injury. Not practice Wednesday, limited today. John Runyon, the same for him, but it was with a neck injury. Quay Walker, dealing with a groin injury, has not practiced at all this week. Christian Watson avoided a concussion. He avoided concussion protocol, so that's good. He's still dealing with back, and he's full participant all week so far. Josh Myers added to the injury report today. He was limited to the participant today. Then on the Steelers side, they don't have much injuries. You got the former Packer Montravius Adams, the defensive tackle, late pick from what I remember from the Packers by Brian Gutekunst. He's dealing with an ankle injury, and he's not practiced at all this week. Another one is Landon Roberts dealing with a knee injury. He was limited on yesterday, did not practice today. And here are the two big ones. These are two big ones, guys. Minka Fitzpatrick, dealing with a hamstring injury, has not practiced all week. Cameron Hayward, defensive tackle, ladies and gentlemen, dealing with a groin injury. He was limited yesterday, did not practice today. Those are two big players on that Steelers defense. Two big guys. Important players. So that is your injury report, ladies and gentlemen. But for me, my take here, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game, in my opinion. I think this is going to determine how both offenses do. Are we going to see no one show up the first half and then see second half teams show up, or are we going to see some progress here? Are we going to see some progress, specifically the Packers? Are we going to see Aaron Jones get at least 20 carries? Are we going to see that? Can Jordan Love throw more accurate balls? Can he make more progress? Can Watson get more involved in the game? That's the big question. The offense, it's just not been great this year. It just hasn't, and we've talked about this. Matt LaFleur has got to do a better job and have better concept. The big problem on the defensive side is we have Carrington Valentine and you got Jair, which Jair, I don't know if he's going to play this week. If he doesn't, that hurts the Packers a bit because then you're going with like a third string CB out there, and he's going to have to cover Deontay Johnson or George Pickens, which is not great for the Packers defensively. So that's a big issue for me on the Packers side. I do think they can do well and stop the run here, but I think the pass defense is going to be a big issue for this Packers defense. Despite Kenny Pickett being the quarterback, I think it's going to be a big issue for them.
Yeah, I think I agree. Talking about the pass defense of the Packers, it's banged up right now, right? We got no more Rasul Douglas, so we don't have him. Jair, man, this guy might be made out of plexiglass at this point or fiberglass.
Yeah.
He seems like he's hurt every other week. He can't stay healthy.
Nope.
It's becoming a problem.
It is.
But he had one of his best games this week. I thought he played really well, and then now he's hurt. So I don't know, but he did play really well. He was all over the field. So shout out to Jair for his play on the field this week. Not shout out for kind of what we've seen or injury wise from him.
Yeah.
I was gonna say other than that, yeah, it's a banged up team. They're banged up. Not much else to add, but hopefully, I want to see Christian Watson out there. Really want to see him kind of bounce back because his season's really been disappointing for me. He's played a lot and he hasn't had much production. So
yeah, definitely. I'd like to see Christian Watson get more involved with the offense. Love to see that there. Mike, what is your score prediction for this game?
I think it's another low scorer. I mean, I should start betting just the unders on Packers games moving forward because this offense just doesn't have it, and our defense needs to be decent. So decent, not necessarily decent, but decent at keeping the team at low scoring games. I think what it might also be is not necessarily we're a decent defense. The teams know they don't really have to score a ton on the Packers, so they kind of like playing it that way. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I think it's probably 21-17 Pittsburgh.
Okay. I'll go Packers. I think they can win this game here slightly. I'll take Packers by 3, 20-17. I think it's be a low score game, but I think it happened.
Yeah, look, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I don't have a ton of faith in this Packers team. So because if they were home, I'd probably give it to the Packers. Because we're away, I'm going to give it to the Steelers.
Mhm.
But hey, I could be wrong.
Mhm. All right, let's move on to a fun topic now. The Green Bay Packers hosting the 2025 NFL Draft, ladies and gentlemen. Mike, how excited you are?
I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
So I have like a corporate like deal with like a hotel, like the Holiday Inn, like they're like parent company,
Mhm.
like the Hotel Motel Holiday Inn. You know that Jeremy, that song,
Yes.
Jeremy? All right, there you go.
Yes.
Who sings that? Let's see your pop culture. Come on.
Fudge.
Be at the Hotel Motel
Hotel
Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn. Why do I? I can't remember.
Dale. Who's Dale? Mr. Worldwide, Jeremy Pitbull,
Oh, Pitbull.
right?
Yeah, Pitbull.
It is. That's him, right?
Timber. Yes.
Hotel Motel
Motel.
Holiday Inn. Pitbull.
Yes,
Yep.
I haven't heard that song a bit.
So anyway, so I called him up because people are already saying there's not many hotel rooms in Green Bay for the influx of people, and I plan to go. Do you plan on going? We haven't really talked about this.
I will try to go to it. It all depends on
2025. You're graduated then, right?
I'll be doing my internship. It depends.
For April 2025, you'll be doing an internship.
Isn't that wait? Yeah.
So you're a junior now, right?
Yeah.
So April. Sorry.
I'll be doing internship.
When do colleges graduate again? Is it April or May?
It's
May.
May.
Right?
It's May, but I'll be doing my internship that last semester.
Got it. So you'll still be in college then.
Yes, but I'm gonna try and work around. Like when I get an internship, I'll try to work around those dates to try and go to it.
Yeah. I do plan on going. I think it's a once in a lifetime experience to see that in Green Bay. I think it's gonna be a lot of cool events. So if anyone's watching and wants to go, definitely raise your hand. We'd love to do stuff while we're out there. I mean, it's just a long time from now, so I'm probably not gonna plan it right now, but we got to figure it out. But anyway, I called up the hotel because they don't take reservations on the app over a year. So I called up like, hey, like, is there any way I could do like a reservation in like April of 2025? And the lady probably thought I was nuts because it wasn't like a Green Bay person that answered. It was like their like corporate office somewhere. And she's like, "What? Why do you want to schedule back in 2025?" I'm like, "Well, there's like an event going on, like the NFL draft, and they just announced the dates today. I'm trying to get ahead of it, but they couldn't. She was like, "Oh, I could book it in like 2024, and then when it gets closer, just move the dates to the booking." I'm like, "How does that help me? Like, I just might as well just wait. Like, I'm not going in 2024. I don't need a booking just out there. Like, I want the dates that I need. If you can't give me those dates, then it doesn't help me." So yeah, I just kind of let it die for now. But I do plan on going.
Okay.
I don't know what the prices of hotels are going to be. That's a pure example of high demand, low supply. So I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, it's going to be interesting because the Packers, Green Bay, never hold a Super Bowl. But the draft has a good amount of people going out there. Especially, I think a lot of people are going to go out for Green Bay because I think a lot of people would like to go to Green Bay. Just kind of as like a mecca of NFL fandom. And like maybe some teams they don't come that often to Green Bay. They're in the AFC and they really can't go, and they weren't able to go last time. And now this is like the one time. Also, maybe it's too cold for people to come during the summer. Like this is the only time you could go when it's warm out, right? To Green Bay. So there could be a lot of people that go here. And they really can't. It almost could be like the Fire Festival where people don't know where to go. So I don't know if they're gonna end up getting doing that cruise ship idea or what's gonna happen with the hotels. But I'm trying to get in there first. So if you guys are listening, good luck because I think we're all gonna be fighting for it. But I bet you the hotels put their rooms up for like $1,000 a night during that time. I'm sure they price gouge. They're gonna price gouge. That's why I was hoping to do it now before they could even think about it. Like if there was a way around it, like, oh yeah, like 2 years out, let's just give it to you for like a cheap price. It's so far out, but I think they're too smart for me. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe what we do, Jeremy, is we see if we can find a short-term rental, and just rent it. Like it's only like $1,100 a month to live in Green Bay. Like just to say, well, we're gonna rent it for 2 months in April and May. We'll just, we'll just rent that, pay $2,200, and just I don't know. That's not a good idea either. You have the place for two months, and then
we'll see how we'll work it all out. We'll see when we get to there.
or just sleep in our car. That's probably what a lot of people are gonna do. Just sleep in their car. I mean, it's gonna be warm out. It's April, right? So it's not like you're gonna freeze.
leave the windows open a little.
No, then somebody would come and attack you overnight.
I said
You don't have to leave
barely.
it open.
You
I don't
leave
know
your
about
window
that.
open barely for breathing.
You have to watch some of these people on YouTube, on TikTok, that they don't have a house; they live in their car. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, well, definitely, I think this is a huge boost for the Packers because ultimately they are probably never going to host the Super Bowl. I think the draft, I think this is something that the Packers have wanted for many years, and that's been one of Mark Murphy's goals as the president of the Green Bay Packers. Been one of the goals, and now they finally get this opportunity. I think this will help the Packers so much, and they're going to benefit. So will the city so much, and I think it's going to be a great time if you go to the draft or just be a part of it. Which both of us are going to try and go to it. We'll see, but this is going to be a fun opportunity to go to it. And I would recommend it because Lambeau Field, it's iconic. It's an iconic sports stadium in all sports. Now, I'm not just saying that as a Packer fan. It's one of the most iconic places to go to of visiting a sports stadium. That's like Fenway. That's like Yankee Stadium. It's all there. So you got to look at the historical stuff, how it's in the middle of nowhere, pretty much in the back, and in back of the neighborhood, I would like to say. But it's just historical. I think you have to go to it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You always got to visit Green Bay.
Do you not think that? Do you think it's set up for this though?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I was in Green Bay a lot this year, and it's not really set up for this. It's not a city with public transportation. Everyone's going to need a car. I mean, look, obviously they run football games out of here, but I think that the football games command a lot less people than the draft is going to do. There's no subway. There's a bus system. Like it is, I don't know. I mean, here's the one thing that's going to happen from this, Jeremy. I think is really good. It kind of gives them a reason to build up around the area. Like it's like we have to, people are showing up. If we don't get this ready, we're going to look real bad. So I think there's going to be a lot of development in the area between now and 2025 if they do it correctly. And what's that going to mean is maybe it's easier for us and more cheaper to go moving forward because they're going to have all these hotels that pop up that they need for the draft that they might not need normally. It could also mean that there's other economic issues if they create something and then it doesn't really have the demand for it moving forward past this one-time event. But that's kind of the problem with these one-time events. You see that with like the World Cup and the Olympics, right, where they build all this stuff for the event, and then what do you really do with it afterwards? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I was watching Corey Binke on Packer Transplates last night. Apparently, they were going to offer people like a certain amount of money per night to use their house. And they're not doing that, apparently. So I don't know. I really don't know because even they got to put these like draftees somewhere, right? So there's got to be room set up for that. All the NFL people, all the ESPN people, all the NFL Network people, all the journalists from around the country that are covering their own teams, all the people that announce like the picks and stuff. Like they have people from each state. All these journalists, all these people, all coming in this one spot, right? And that's without the fans. And you have all these fans too. Where are they all going to stay? I don't know, Jerry. It sounds like a good idea. I'm excited to go, but it could go downhill in terms of logistics.
I mean, they got room.
Everyone needs a car though. Everyone needs a car too because there's no subway. Where are they want to park?
I mean, they could take the bus that I've seen fans do before. They always take it like travel from Milwaukee and take the bus up there. There's people to drive from Chicago. There's people from the Michigan, a little bit upper part, and there's also a bit of the Minnesota part. So,
but they need a car. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying they could take the bus. You could take the bus.
Somewhere. They're all internal Green Bay buses. You got to park somewhere in Green Bay.
Well, there's going to be buses from Milwaukee. Obviously, they're going to have to go up to Green Bay to drive up there because I think some people are going to stay in Milwaukee and then drive and like either take a bus up there because I know there's going to be a bus system probably that takes it from Milwaukee up there probably.
I'm sure. See, that's the interesting part here, right? Is that I think they're gonna have to think outside the box to make this happen. And honestly, there's no real way. I mean, you know this, Jeremy, because you've gone to Wisconsin a lot, right? There's no great way to get from Chicago to Green Bay without a car, or Milwaukee to Green Bay without a car. Now, it's
It's
actually
not
very
that.
easy with the car. You just get in the
Yes.
car, you go up I forget the route, but
I have no idea.
yeah, 56. I'm not sure. Anyway, but you just go up that one hill, and you could go one way. You could go the Manitowoc way, or you could go the Appleton way, right?
Yeah,
It kind of goes like this, right? Like that. Um, because I was there, for a week for training camp. Then went with my dad, so I was there by myself. I was figuring this all out. So I could drive around Green Bay right now with no GPS. I know where I'm going. That's big. From New York, Jeremy, not know only seeing Green Bay. Now I could drive out without a GPS in Green Bay. So I'm really really happy. That was a really great trip that I took because I learned a lot about my favorite football teams, like the logistics behind the city and all that. Anyway, but what I think that could happen is maybe they say, hey, look, it's not sustainable for the city to take all this influx of cars and all these people. Like, we need to figure out a way to get people from Milwaukee, the Milwaukee airport or the Chicago airport without a car, because that would decrease the expense of going to Green Bay. You'd get on it from New York, you get on an airport plane, you go to Milwaukee, right? Then you get on a train to Green Bay, and you're there, because I'm not trying to go other places outside of Green Bay. I just kind of want to take a train right into Green Bay, and then I can take a bus, take an Uber, whatever not. But I don't need to then rent a car. Right now, you have to rent a car. Not that rent a car is a huge expense, but it's another $200, $400 that you could save if you took the train. It would just make it more feasible to go to Green Bay. And also, the other thing is, when it's snowing, do you really want to drive 2-3 hours in the snow?
Nope.
So if I take a train, it's a reliable source of public transportation. The National Railroad Museum, great spot. If you guys ever go to Green Bay, I'd recommend going to that. But Green Bay was historically known for its railroads. The Packers used to take the train from Green Bay to get to Chicago to play the Bears. That's how they traveled. They took a train. So I don't know what happened to the train from Chicago to Green Bay or Milwaukee to Green Bay, but it doesn't seem to be in existence anymore. And I would think that the tracks are still there. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe I'll do some research for next episode. But if the tracks are still there, why don't we get Amtrak to do a special route for the draft from Chicago and stopping Milwaukee and going to Green Bay to get people moving?
There is, yes, they do have Amtrak from Green Bay to Chicago. The tickets to it is $39.
No way. But it's a bus, though. It's not a train.
Oh, well, this is what it's telling me. Green Bay to Chicago train, Amtrak tickets $39.
Is there a train from Chicago
It says it
to
on
Milwaukee to Green Bay? I could be wrong. I'm looking it up myself.
All right, I just found it. I just found it right off the bat. So I don't know. Just saying.
Really?
I guess they just don't use it.
No. The train, it's the bus. I'm right. The train goes from Chicago to Milwaukee. So you can get from Chicago to Milwaukee on the train. Amtrak Hiawatha. To get to Green Bay is a bus. Amtrak Thruway bus you have to take. You have to take a bus.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see. Are there still train tracks from Milwaukee to Green Bay? We're doing a learning session for the viewers right now. So look, there are train tracks from Milwaukee to Green Bay. The tracks are owned and operated by Canadian National Railway. However, there is currently no passenger rail service between the two cities. Amtrak discontinued passenger service on this route in 1981. In recent years, there's been growing interest in bringing back passenger rail service between Milwaukee and Green Bay. In 2022, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation received a $1.25 million grant from the Federal Railroad Administration to study the feasibility of restoring passenger rail service on this corridor. The study is expected to be completed in 2024. Look at this. If the study finds that passenger rail service is feasible, Wisconsin Department of Transportation will begin working with Amtrak to develop a service plan and timeline. In the meantime, Canadian National Railway continues to operate freight trains on the tracks between Milwaukee and Green Bay. So, news right here in PackReacts. Maybe what I'm saying comes to fruition, because that's a great – think about it, right?
Yeah.
We can't be the only ones having this conversation. They have all these influx of people. They cannot take the car traffic. There's just not. There's no way they could take it. So they're gonna have to have a way where people stay in Milwaukee and with the hotels and get to Green Bay. You can't expect them to all come up in a car. You can't. So otherwise, it would be that whole highway would be just crazy. So I'll bet you on this show right here, $100 that for the draft, passenger rail service is back from Milwaukee to Green Bay.
I'll take any bets. I ain't doing them.
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
taking any bets.
if anyone if anyone is watching and wants to take that bet against me, I will talk about it. I won't necessarily
talk
it's
about it now.
it's not an open offer to anybody watching, but I
Yeah.
bet you they do, because especially it's funny how the feasibility study is going to happen in 2024, just right before the draft comes. I don't think that's a coincidence.
All right, folks, you heard it. You get a free $100 from Mike here, folks. Get a free.
Why is it free? Wouldn't that be great though, Jeremy? Think about it. You could fly to Milwaukee and then just take a train right to Green Bay.
It would be great.
You know, because the
No,
problem
it would be good.
you're under 25. You can't even rent a car, or you have to pay like a crazy surcharge.
Yeah, you have to pay like a crazy thing.
Yeah. See, now once you turn 25, it's nice because it kind of opens up a lot of the country to you, because you don't have to rent a car. You could fly somewhere and then it opens up the country. So that's actually a big difference of getting to that age, 25. But what do you call it? The train would be awesome. Do that, Wisconsin government.
It would be. It's gonna be very interesting though. It's gonna be very interesting. Hopefully for me next year, and I've talked about this before, hopefully for me, I get to go to the Super Bowl. And part of that is I'll get to hear the plans of how Super Bowl's planned. So I might be hearing little things about the Packers draft bit of how you kind of construct of how you build the draft party, how you host a draft, how you host the Super Bowl, like that kind of stuff.
So this is through your club, right? Sports marketing.
Yeah, Sports Business Association.
Got it. You'll see Tom Grossi there. Speaking of which, great transition to our last segment, right?
Yes. We got to give a special shout out to Tom Grossi, ladies and gentlemen.
Tom Grossi. A PackReacts congratulations to Tom Grossi. Can I take it away for a second? Because this is something I'm passionate about.
Floor is yours, sir.
Look, that's great news. I saw Tom Grossi put out a few weeks ago that he had exciting news. I didn't know exactly what it was. But the news came out that Tom Grossi is the NFL Fan of the Year nominee for the Green Bay Packers, so the Packers Fan of the Year. Not something I think I've heard about it in the past, not something I really cared about. But in this instance, Tom Grossi definitely deserves some recognition for what he did for 30 for 30. And NFL Fan of the Year is a great thing, although, it's probably just like a made-up award, right? Like, what does it mean to be Fan of the Year? But he gets a lot from it. He gets to go to Las Vegas. He gets to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
If he gets the Fan of the Year, he gets like a trophy that's, I was reading, it was worth like $10,000 or something. I don't know. It's pretty cool, and he deserves it. He deserves it from the 30 for 30. So the voting opened. So I think Jeremy has the link. He's gonna put it in the link in the thing.
Put in
Definitely
the
go
chat
vote.
right now.
I don't understand the voting construct, because you literally could put like a random email in there, like PackReacts@gmail.com, right? Vote for Tom, hit select, and then it says, would you like to vote again? So you could literally just like sit there all day or write a script, right? That says like put XYZ@gmail.com in here. Click on Tom Grossi, hit approve, then do it again, and just have the computer do for it all day. It's like, I don't think the fan voting counts that much, because it like, if I just wrote that script, what is it to stop me from doing that? It's just going to be a completely fake vote tallying system, right? There's nothing stopping me from voting multiple times. So I bet you it's going to be more the judges, like, because if you read the fine print, it shows you like fan voting is only one component, then there's like a judge component, and there's something else. But no one's going to beat Tom Grossi. I mean, Tom Grossi raised up $500,000 for St. Jude's, which is obviously a great children's charity for children undergoing difficult times, whether that be childhood cancer or different medical or physical or family issues. Great charity, and it's something that we brought up on the podcast before, where Tom Grossi is just an incredible human being, first of all, but a friend of the show. I went to the he did our intro. Full disclosure, I did provide a $50 donation to St. Jude that day, but it had nothing to do with why Tom did that. Tom would have done that regardless. That donation was solely for the charity. But Tom, that was his idea. I said, Tom, do you mind if we get a picture? I just want to, for the podcast. He goes, you have a podcast? I said, yeah. I said, it's PackReacts. We don't have a ton of viewers, but Jeremy's a great co-host, and we're doing a good job, I think. And we've had Wes on, we had Matt Ramage on. He's like, say no more. We're gonna, I'll do an intro for you, and that's kind of where we came from here. So Tom Grossi is probably one of the best human beings I've ever met. Not necessarily in person, like from like our interact, but just from his interactions online. So, completely selfless. Wants to put others and charities ahead of his own personal gain, I think. And this is something that, when someone is that selfless and somebody that goes above and beyond and puts their own money on the line and time and effort and health, 30 for 30, traveling like that crazy, keeping all his fans in the loop, this is where I'm gonna be. Come out, like taking risks. Like somebody who knows, maybe somebody didn't like him who could have like he didn't have security there. It was just him and a cameraman, right? Like
Johnny Barks.
right, like this is some like really impressive stuff I'm seeing from a guy just like you and me. I mean, he lives no more than 30 minutes north of me in New York. Big Packers fan, great guy, and no one more deserving than Tom Grossi. Please, if you don't do lit and one other thing, then that I say on this, say please, please, please go on the link that Jeremy sent and give
Yes.
Tom at least one vote. Like I said, I don't know how much the fan voting counts, but that's just the least we can do is get Tom to be NFL Fan of the Year, because you know what it's going to do? It's not going to stroke his ego at all. I don't think that's what it's going to do. Is it's going to get his platform out there to a larger audience, and it already has been. He's got fans, Vikings fans, Lions fans. He's got fans of every NFL team, but his platform is really bringing together a larger community, a community of people that are NFL fans, football fans, sports fans, people that just want to, um, you know, express their love for a common interest in the NFL. And, it's really, and comedy too, it's really a lighthearted, great, fun community. And, just congratulations. What about you, Jeremy? Sorry, I'm very passionate about it because I've been watching. This is why I'm so passionate about it. I've been watching Tom since he had the Magic Pupper Day. I was kind of I didn't watch him from day one, but I watched him from probably like month 1 or month 2 into his channel, and I've kind of seen him progress. And I've just been super impressed from every step he's taken. He's been consistent. Had 2 jobs. He used to work in
Teaching
as a teacher up in New Rochelle, right where I went to college. Right, there was an all-girls school he worked for quite a bit, and then during COVID, he was doing a leave replacement job. He would say about it on his streams. And when I saw him, I met him in New York. I said, "What do you call it? I'm from Eastchester, New York." And he goes, "Eastchester? That was where my leave replacement was." And I go, "I went to high school there." So he actually was. He's a social studies teacher. So my my cousin-in-law, so my cousin's husband, his cousin is a social studies teacher. He worked with Tom right there. Now he said I talked to him at a family party a few weeks ago. He says, "Oh, I knew Tom. Tom was a really nice guy. I only met him once or twice because we were online, virtual during that time. But he was really, really cool." So Tom was only an employee there for I think half a year to a full school year. But you know, it's just really interesting connections between kind of his channel and kind of just my progression. And the other thing is John, who will give everyone a sneak peek if you've listened this long. John Carlson, who's been on 2 of these past episodes, went with me to New Orleans. We just happened to both be Green Bay New Orleans game for opening weekend. Or sorry, not opening weekend, home opener weekend. We just happened to be going to the same game, and John is going to be coming onto the podcast on a more regular basis, not every episode, but on a more regular basis.
Yep.
And we look forward to that because, we really think that John's been bringing a great value proposition to the podcast. And, I think we have great takes, Jeremy, but having a third kind of voice in it always keeps us accountable too, I think. So I think hopefully we can embrace a third person here on a more regular basis and still gain the guest. So if you want to come in as a guest, we'll probably have quad. It's like we're going to be like the NFL Red Zone with a quad view, right?
Yeah, quad view.
Quad view. So
yeah,
let's get your opinion. I want to get your opinion on Tom Grassi because, again, this was a huge accomplishment for Tom. So I want to get your opinion.
All right, so this is very personal, mate, because I watched Tom since day one, pretty much. The first time I ever remember watching Tom was, I believe, the 2018-2019 NFL draft. No, 2018 NFL draft. It was the pick when Jair Alexander got picked, and Tom screams to the death of him. He's like, "I hate this pick so much. Why'd you pick this?" And that made me laugh that day. And then I wanted to see more. And then I was watching more content. So I'm like, oh, this is very interesting. And then it got me going. I'm like, oh, he does this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh. And I was considering doing a YouTube channel at the time. I was like, he's doing all this. And he was giving me advice of starting one when I got to ask him a couple questions in the chat sometimes, where I DM him once in a while. And he was just giving me great advice. And then I finally started it. Obviously, you all know I did my first video on my favorite baseball team, just predicting a lineup just for fun. Never thought I'd get to there because I was not a person who wanted to be in front of camera like I am today. Never was that. And Tom was just an idol to me. He really got me going of just keep it going. You're fine. Just step it all out. Just start small. You don't have to buy all the expensive equipment. Don't do any of that. Just start small and just have fun, because just don't focus on the numbers. Don't focus on the amount of viewers. Just focus on just putting up quality videos and just having a great time. And that really stuck out to me because I wanted to start a YouTube channel right then and there when he was giving me the advice and everything. And I wanted to talk about my Packers because I want to share the passion that I think that a lot of people want to share out. And he's just inspired me every day just to be that. He's been my idol since day one. And yeah, just really appreciate him doing everything and just being he's kind of like a mentor to me, I would consider. Just like an idol all too. So just appreciate him there. And the 30 for 30, I just want to get to a bit. I didn't get to go 30 for 30. I wanted to badly, but then I didn't go because of the whole Canada wildfire, whatever that was. I just didn't want to go because of that. I just appreciate him doing that. That's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen somebody do. How he did that, even through he missed some flights and still manage. He always wasn't there. He wasn't going to be there, obviously, every time, but he managed. He always found a way to get through the 30 for 30 and always try to be there and meet up with the guest. He never bailed out on his fans, never did. And that is something important. So always like the appreciation and how he did it for the St. Jude too. Just amazing. He always is a charity guy. He never wants to take any money. He doesn't care if he makes money or not. And he just gives it all to charity, and just awesome. Just create a little bit of chaos of helping out charities. He always has his monthly charity of the thing. Just amazing to see that. So yeah, just amazing to see Tom, and congrats to him. I hope he wins Fan of the Year, and just amazing person. Wish I get to meet him. Don't know if I ever will. Don't know if he'll ever come.
You will. That's not a question, Jeremy.
We'll see. We will see. Hopefully he becomes a guest on the channel, though.
Well, we did reach out to Tom, but Tom's got a busy schedule. So
yeah.
I'm sure, one day we'll make it happen. If not, we'll definitely be at the fan meetups. But no, believe me, Jeremy, you don't do something like 30 for 30 because you're doing it for the clout. You're doing it for the passion. I mean, You can tell that Tom has a passion for his community. There's not that many people that do. I think a lot of the famous people out there, right?
Yeah.
They get famous because somebody puts them in that spot, right? Just look at musicians, actors, actresses, right? They don't really let's see how to frame this, right? They're not building it themselves. Someone's like, we're going to cast you for this role. You kind of get put into it, right? And then it kind of takes a life of its own. And, you're very talented and all that, but you kind of become like a figurehead, kind of
Mhm.
like, let's say like Taylor Swift, right? Like Taylor Swift, super talented, I think her last album is really good, but people are almost like obsessed of the idea of Taylor Swift. They don't even know Taylor Swift, right? Like if they
Exactly.
would have like had a conversation with Taylor Swift, maybe they said this person is terrible, right? Like I'm not saying that. I think Taylor Swift is probably a good person, but they're almost in love with the idea of her and like her music and her platform rather than her, right? Tom Grassi, like you said, we've known from day one. No different, or not known personally, but we've seen him progress from day one. No different than you and me coming on here, right? Like, people see us on the street. I go to don't care who the hell, they don't know who I am, right? Uh, Same thing with Tom, right? He goes and walks around in New York. Probably 99.99999% of people don't know who he is. Maybe one or two do now, right? But like 99.9% of people don't know who he is. But you could see that he has a passion for his fans because he, you know, went above and beyond for while he had two jobs, right?
Yep.
Staying up late, getting videos out on a consistent basis. A passion for the Packers, that's clear. A passion for the NFL, passion for comedy, a passion for doing good for people. He could be doing this and just raking in the cash and never, no one, there's no requirement of being a YouTuber that you got to give back to charity with any of your videos. I've never, we're not, I mean, I'd love to do that one day, Jerry,
Yeah.
but we don't even make any money ourselves. Like, how could we give money
Exactly.
to, no one's giving us super chat. So, like,
Yeah.
I'll make that, and I'm sure you can. If we ever start making money, we should give back to charity somehow
Yeah.
because, this is not our job. Like, we're doing this for
No.
the love of the Packers to get people out there and just to have a good time.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a good time, you should also do it for good for other people, and that's something that Tom is doing. He's going above and beyond for the greater good, and he also takes it responsibly too. It's not like he's getting the charity like down the block that probably isn't giving any of the money to a charity like St. Jude, which is hugely um, supportive of children in their biggest needs. I mean, that's a great thing. And he's given he adopted a dog and did it in a funny way too. He adopted a dog well, he didn't adopt it. He like did like a financial adoption where like you give them money, but then like
Yeah.
you get to name the dog. So he went to a Minnesota charity, like a Minnesota shelter, and called the dog in Minnesota Lambo, right? So for like a $5,000 donation to the shelter, all the dogs get help, and he kind of gives a little, knife in the side of Vikings fans that we're gonna name a Minnesota dog Lambo. Like that doesn't hurt anybody, right? It helps the shelter a lot, and he kind of
Yeah.
also twists the knife in the Vikings fans that we're gonna call it Lambo. So that was great, and it's funny too, like. It's not mean, like it wasn't a mean gesture. It was just a funny gesture. It's all in good fun. So I like that. So I don't know. Look, I don't want to go all day because we're getting late on time, but
Yeah.
Tom really deserves it. There's nobody else on that list. The one thing is they don't give you any background of who you're voting for. They just have the
Yeah.
picture of the person and the name in that voting. So like people are just going to vote for their favorite team, right? So
Yeah.
Tom might not even end up winning because most people don't even, if it's purely fans, right? And there's no judge component. Because if like more Cowboys fans vote, right, they're going to vote
Yeah.
for their guy compared to Packers fans. But I really think that with Tom's platform, with what he did for 30 for 30, enough people know him that he'll probably get the most votes because most people will be interested, like actually emotionally invested in voting for him. And I don't see how any judge, a panel of judges that has all the information available to them can think that another person did it more for the NFL community this year than and just the United States community more than Tom Grassi. So I think it's shoo-in. I think he's going to win. But I guess we'll find out the NFL honors ceremony. And think about that. Just think about that for a second, Jeremy. If Tom Grassi wins at the NFL honors, right? Our platform, right? Not ours, but the Packers Twitter community, right? Is going to have a national stage. I mean, that's big. That's real big.
We're all part of that. We're all a part of that.
Right. I mean, we're not necessarily, we're a part of it. It's not our doing, right?
No,
but like,
it's not. But
we all could take a sense of pride of like, this is our passion, the Packers. Twitter community, talking to people about the Packers. Jeremy, we haven't been lifelong friends. How do we meet?
No.
By having a shared passion of talking about the Packers, NFL, YouTube, meeting different people. John, I met him at the Tom Grossi meetup, right? Shared passion about the Packers, talking about the football. There's so many situations I've been in my life where I met somebody, right? Like, and you're a great example of that, right? And I could just talk for hours with you. I just met you, right? Like, what other situation? I've said this before on the podcast, but I really truly believe it. What other situation could I meet a random stranger and just talk to them like they're my best friend for an hour? It's impossible. You
It is.
have to have a passion for something that is shared, and there's clearly just that. It's inside people. It's a burning desire for the team that they love, and it just wants to be expressed. And this is the way to do it. So Tom is the forefront. He's the model of the right way to do it, and this is totally the Packers PR department. I've kind of think they've done bad things, not bad things, but like, questionable things, decisions and all that, where like, some things with game day experience, some other things I just don't, with like the schedule release, they don't do a good job at that, right? But one thing they've gotten completely correct here was picking Tom for this. Absolutely correct. I mean, this was a great decision by the Packers. And I think it's going to have huge ramifications when Tom wins this thing and gets the national spotlight.
Just amazing. Just amazing of how he literally was on a couch, screamed at a camera, and gets everything out of that by losing to the Seahawks.
Yeah. I mean, this all started in a basement. And what this can be, again, because there's places, things that have tons of money behind them, right? It's not genuine. His thing is genuine. It's real. It's gets people, like, we've been talking about this for 30 minutes, and this is probably the most passionate I've been on this podcast, right? Because I mean, it's a real, genuine, hardworking platform that has been built not because of money or marketing, right? It's been built because of real emotion, real effort, real care. That is what the Tom Grossi community is. It is real people expressing their real desire. What do you call it?
Desire.
Passions is what I'm saying. And in a fun way, in a consistent way, it's just a great community. And the one thing it was missing was taking something online and bringing it in person. And that's what 30 for 30 did. And I bet you that this is going to continue to happen. And it's already having ramifications elsewhere. What did you send to me today, Jeremy?
I sent you today the my God, I can't even remember the invitation part.
Yes.
I sent you the invitation for the Tom Grossi voting.
No, I'm talking about the She Said TV meetup in New York City.
Sorry. Yes. So like also like with the Packers, like we have She Said TV, another growing platform that's like based out in Wisconsin. Aaron Eckler, Corey Benke, they're having their meetup just like how Grossi did 30 for 30. That's in New York, and Mike will be going that.
It's the second one. I wasn't able to make it to the first one. John did. I wasn't able to make it for. I had a work event where we like took a boat around the New York City. I couldn't pass that up. That was a pretty cool event. Sorry. But I am going to be there Sunday, December 10th. Some insider information for anybody's watching. Apparently Mark Murphy is going to be going, is what John Carlson said, that he went to kettle fish over the weekend for the game, and his dad was talking to the owner, and Mark Murphy's supposed to be going because obviously that week the Packers are in town for the Giants. So, we were going to go anyway, but now I'm glad to see that the She Said TV meetup's happening. I think that's going to be a fun event. So, yeah, I mean, look, this is fun stuff, and this is stuff that I don't believe me. I was there, actually. I was there at the Tom Grossi meetup where Nagler was talking to Perry Goldstein about, and they came up with, well, let's do a She Said TV event meetup right there. So, like, this is stuff that's going to keep happening, and you're going to be able to meet more friends that are Packers fans, more friends that are New York football fans, right? Good stuff. Let's bring online and kind of the community we built online in person. It's a natural progression, and it's something Tom started. So I don't know. Tom is a trendsetter. I could go all day talking about Tom. I think we can't do that. But
No.
vote for Tom. I will be voting. I'm gonna make a thing here. I'm gonna make this as my home screen at work every day. First thing I do at work, give Tom a vote.
There you
Not
go.
that it matters, like I said. I think otherwise someone could just create a script and keep voting nonstop. So the fan voting component can't be the most important part of this. It's got to be the judge part. But I'm gonna do it anyway, just to provide my support.
There you go. There you go, folks. If you've not already, I've already posted in the chat here the link to go vote for Tom Grassi. Go do that right now. That's what we're trying to get back to him, of just giving back to pretty much just being a part of the Tom Grassi community. We just want to give back to Tom and help him out and help him succeed a little bit, as
That's
he's
absolutely correct.
He's already taken the steps of what he needs to, but we feel as Packer fans and as fans of Tom Grassi that we just want to help him out a bit. So shout out to Tom if he's ever watching this, which he's probably not. But shout out to you, Grassi. Shout out to you.
I gotta find a way to start clipping some of these videos because it's tough for somebody to watch a whole hour of this and then watch it live. We got to be able to clip this part because this part's important to me. And if I don't clip it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this time, watch it. If you don't watch anything else, go to this time stamp and watch this, because I really think that it's just important kudos to give to Tom, because he deserves kind of the he's not going to take the praise himself. That's for sure. He's not that type of guy. So it's up to everybody else to kind of show the acknowledgement we had for the platform he's created, but also just kind of the above and beyond he's done for charities and society in general. He totally deserves this announcement. And if anything, what it does is just provides a structured way to kind of celebrate his platform, because super impressive. And just, any chance I get, I'd love to talk about kind of Tom's platform, how it has affected my life. And obviously, Jeremy, I didn't know it affected your life that much too. Yeah. So, it's a great honor to get. So I'm really happy for him.
Definitely. We'll wrap. Excuse me, that was a bit of voice crack there. We'll wrap it up there, folks. Hopefully the Packers can win. We'd like to see more progress in this offense. Shout out to Grassi, as already mentioned before. Rematch of Super Bowl 45 kicks off at 1 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Kicks off at 1 p.m. this Sunday. And the Green Bay Packers are hosting the 2025 NFL Draft. We will be trying to go to that event. We will try and get there if we can. So we'll try and do that. But before we head out, where
one
can
thing,
the
one.
Okay.
All right. No, that's fine. I'll do it. Where do we find me? So you find me on my Twitter, Arvo15, PackReacts Podcast. We're trying to, up our follower count. So probably going to be making some, follow a bunch of people. So feel free to follow us. We'll follow you back. Follow for follow, whatever you call it. I'm not great at building social media platforms. We're going to try to get better so we can get more viewers, because we really, want to build a community of our own here and bring people together about the Packers, just like Tom is. So, I think that's going to be good stuff. One thing I want to get out there, we touched on it a little bit earlier, the Cheesehead TV meetup that was announced today, December 9th, Sunday, right before the Monday Night Football with Green Bay, New York. I'm going to be there, barring some foreseen circumstances. It's a Sunday, so I have nothing going on with work, and there should be no reason I don't go. So I will be there. And please, if you're going, please reach out. John, I believe, is going to be there as well. So we'd love to get other fans and of the podcast, or other fans of just the Packers, and meet up. And, if you don't feel comfortable going by yourself, if you don't have any other Packers fans, reach out. We'd love to, plan a time we could meet up down the block and walk in. It was a little bit weird for me to go to the Tom Grassi meetup by myself. I didn't know anybody, but now, I don't want anybody else to feel that way. If you're looking for somebody to go with or whatever, reach out, because getting yourself out there and going to these type of events is great, and everyone should do it, especially if you share the passion of the Packers. So definitely wanted to shout out that it's a great event, and I bet you Tom will be there. So, Jeremy, if you're in the New York area in December 9th, I don't think you will be, but if you think Amtrak does go from Philadelphia to New York, so don't forget about that.
We take an exam that day, that
on
Friday,
Monday?
That Friday, the 8th of December. So
you mean the 7th?
7th, yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's what you do: you take an Amtrak on the 8th, right? Or no, sorry, Sunday morning you take an Amtrak, right?
Okay.
And you turn 21, right?
At the end of the month,
At the end of what day?
25th.
So the December you'll be 21. Here's what you do, Jeremy. You take an Amtrak from Philadelphia on Saturday, right?
Okay.
Or Sunday morning, right? So you don't kill a day, unless you want to come Saturday, you could. And then just go back Monday. Do you have classes Monday?
I don't think so.
There you go. You can stay at my apartment if you want.
I'll
It's
think
just
about
outside of the city. It's outside of the city, so
Okay.
we have to take the train in. But yeah, or you can get a hotel in the city. I don't know. Up to you.
it. All right. I'll
You
definitely
should
check
do it.
about it. I'll
Yeah.
I'll definitely check about it.
I think the Amtrak is like what, 75, $100. I'm not sure, but round trip.
Probably.
But how far is it to get to Philadelphia from York?
To 2 hours.
Really? From York for your college? It's
Yeah.
2 hours?
It's about 2
Really?
hours to get to Philly.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
All right. And that's kind of difficult then.
Yeah. It's
Is it
about
really
2
that
hours.
far?
It's about close to 2 hours from my house. It's about 2 hours and like 10, 15 minutes because I'm an hour away from Baltimore.
Wow. Okay. So you don't even have a car, right? So that's probably the problem.
Yeah. Because
Alright.
because it's
Well,
like,
think about it. I'll be
I'll
there.
think about
So
it.
it's up to you. The open
I'll think about it.
invitation.
All right. I'll think about it.
All right. Where do we find you, Jeremy?
All right, you all know where to find me as on this channel as always. I did have the Ultimate Team for the GOAT Series, which was the last episode that came out a week ago. Already 83 views on that. So if you want to go check out who the best Ultimate Team is, go find out and vote in the comments right now. I got the best team, I would like to say, of my fandom wise, but you go find it yourself. It's the longest video I've ever done on the channel, 45 minutes. Break it down from special teams, defenses, and offenses. So make sure you go check that out, folks. Make sure you go check that out. But we'll be here next week. We'll have some special guests come on. John will be coming on soon, too. So we'll be having that. And we got one last thing to say before we head out.
Go, Pack, go!
Go, Pack, go!